Chair Karen, I believe you are
Can't hear
muted.
you, Albert.
Sorry about that. Good evening. Welcome to the November 10, 2021 Civil Service Commission meeting. Can we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Storian,
Here.
Commissioner Hartunian,
Here.
Commissioner McCarley,
Present.
Chair Karen.
Here.
For the record, Commissioner
next?
Gazarian is absent. Next, we have minutes for the meeting of August 11, 2021.
I don't think that we have a quorum. We needed Commissioner Gazarian for us to be able to actually approve that minute, so we will leave that for the next meeting. What's next?
Minutes for the meeting of October 13, 2021.
We have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Mr. McCarthy seconded. Unanimously approved. What's next?
Oral communications, we have none.
Okay, what's next?
Recruitment and examination report.
Mr. Doyle?
Chair Karen, members of the commission, this is our monthly recruitment and examination workload status report. This report shows the number of recruitments that are currently active at this time. We do have a significant number of recruitments, and I think we're seeing a bit of turnover, and always at the end of the year we see some retirements and such. But I think we're up to 63. We've done a lot of lists, established a lot of lists in the last month, but we continue to have vacant positions that move forward with the recruitment. So again, this report includes the position title of each recruitment, the department, the filing period, as well as any testing dates that are set up. This is a note and file item, but if any members of the commission have questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them for you.
Any questions by any of the commissioners? Hearing none. What's next?
Eligible list established.
Mr. Doyle?
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, this too is a note and file item. These are the eligible lists that have been established since our last meeting approximately a month ago. We do have 11 lists that have been established, 6 of them promotional, 3 open, and 2 that are considered promotional and open. As always, you see some pretty high numbers on those open recruitment processes, and then as you move to the right-hand side of the graph, you see people get eliminated, and ultimately the eligible lists are much smaller than obviously the original applicant pool. Again, this is another pretty busy month in recruitment. A lot of lists have been cranked out. If the commission does have any questions about any of these specific recruitments, I'd be happy to try and answer them. Otherwise, this is a note and file item.
Any questions by any of the commissioners? Hearing none. What's next?
Class specification for approval, electrical helper.
Mr. Doyle?
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, this is a revision of a job specification for electrical helper within Glendale Water and Power. This is a very important position within the electrical line mechanic series, and we're updating the specification not only because it's been about 10 years since it's been updated, but the primary change that we're looking at is sort of broadening the minimum requirements for the position, which currently has a 6-month experience in working in electrical utility. But they have these electric utility trade schools and lineman mechanic schools that are really good, that expose people to the challenges and the work involved in an electric utility. They get exposure to high voltage electricity. They get exposure to having to work at heights and having to basically learn the elements of lineman work. And we believe that if regardless of an employee has any actual hands-on experience, that the experience and exposure to the profession that they would get in these types of schools would be very beneficial in enabling them to qualify for this job. So what we want to do is, in addition to having this 6-month requirement, we'd like to include, I don't want to say in addition to, but as an alternative to that experience, completion or graduation from one of these schools as a means of qualifying for the job. So that's really the sum and substance of the changes. There are other boilerplate language items on this specification, but for the most part, that's what we're looking to do. If you have questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them for you. I have the electrical superintendent, Mr. John Warner, here, if you want to ask him anything specifically, as well as Ando Vardanian from my staff who worked with GWP on this specification. Mr. Chair?
Any of the commissioners have any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Mr. Dole, just a quick question. Since you emphasized the importance of the experience, now we're adding the alternative of just the training. Do any of these trade schools, do they offer any experience opportunities if someone shows up with just a graduation or completion of a certificate or degree from these trade schools and has no experience? Do we have any concerns about that situation?
Chair Carey and Commissioner Hartunian, it's a great question. And again, we're looking for an entree to this electrical helper position, which is below the electrical lineman series. And there's actually an entire apprenticeship program that you have to do in order to become an electrical lineman. So we're talking, this would be the entree to the helper position. And then after that, there'd be a 5-year apprenticeship program altogether. But this is just designed to see that someone has the faculties, the abilities to do this kind of work. And I think initially, as you can see from the specification, the helper position is just that. It's a helper position. They're going to work with the crews directly in this environment, but they'll also gain experience through that. And if they're ready to either enter the full-time apprenticeship program, become a lineman, that's all the better. But these schools are definitely hands-on, and they are, as I understand, a minimum of about 3 months long, and they expose everybody to the hazards of that particular field. And if I could maybe have Mr. Warner, if you want to describe perhaps some of the things that they're taught in these schools, maybe that would help you. This is, again, his name, John Warner. He's the electrical superintendent.
So basically with the school, not only do they do homework, bookwork, learn transformer hookups, they go out, use equipment, set poles, hang transformers, they learn how to climb, all the safety, everything involved with that.
And Mr. Warner, if somebody doesn't have these abilities, let's say they're afraid of climbing or heights, they're not going to last very long in that school, correct?
They will not, no, they will cut them.
Members of the commission, Chair Karen, are there any further questions, Mr. Warner or myself?
Not for me. Thank you, Mr. Dole. Thank you, Mr. Warner.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Stoll, I just have one quick note. When we get a job bulletin for this, could we actually see the job bulletin that has the A and C requirements in there? This way, then we will know that what we asked for last meeting was incorporated into a job bulletin.
Chair Karen, that will be incorporated into the job bulletin, and it actually has been incorporated into the specification as well. You're referring to the language about exceptional customer service?
Yeah, it was supposed to be, we had two options, option A and C, and it was supposed to be both option A and C.
Okay.
And I only see the option A in here. The option C was to actually give them, a website and then have a note in the bottom, and that I don't see. The option C is not here. If you look at the actual look at the actual October 13 meeting, it specifically said that the commission voted to include both option A and option C at the same time.
Mr. Chair, I believe the bulletins are structured a little differently than specifications, but Mr.
No,
Vardanian.
that's the reason I said.
Yeah, Mr.
I wasn't
Vardanian is.
asking for.
I have Mr. Vardanian, who worked on that item. He can clarify, perhaps.
Chair
Sure, go
Cherian,
ahead, Mr. Vartanian.
members of the commission, good afternoon. What you're looking at is the class specification, which contains the language you're specifically talking about exceptional customer service. However, option A and C will be incorporated once we are ready to post a job. And I'm specifically referring to bulletins. So
Right.
at the
What I was
moment,
asking for was, once the job bulletin was actually posted in the future, could we see a sample of it? That's all I was asking for.
absolutely.
Okay, that's all I asked for. Yeah, I know that it wouldn't be in the job specification, but I was asking as a sample if once you actually post a job bulletin, if you can actually see a sample of that in the meeting after you guys actually post it.
Yes.
We'll forward that to the commission as a whole, so you can see it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. O.
Thank you.
Any other questions? What's next?
Could we take a vote on that item, please?
We need a vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I so moved. I so move for the approval of this job specifications.
Mr. Assyrian moves. Is there a second?
Yeah, McCarley, second.
Ms. McCarthy, second. Can we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Storian?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartunian?
Yes.
Commissioner McCarley?
Yes.
Chair Abkarian?
Yes. What's next?
Class specification for approval, Public Works Customer Service Representative Series.
Mr. Dole.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, this is a class specification for a new job series within the Public Works Integrated Waste Management Department. At Integrated Waste Management, they've developed a fairly sophisticated call center in their operation to address trash collection inquiries, account issues, billing questions, as well as dealing with the newly established commercial franchising program that will now involve 4 additional vendors who will handle the majority of our commercial and accounts and large apartment buildings throughout the city. The employees currently performing these duties are classified as customer service representatives, and the work involved in this call center, it's very heavily automated. It's a little more advanced than what the existing customer service reps typically perform. So as a result, we're bringing before you a new series consisting of 2 classifications, and this was brought to City Council as far as establishing the new titles and the compensation, but we need, of course, the Commission's approval on the specification. And this series, again, it consists of 2 classifications, the first being the Public Works Customer Service Representative, and then it's Senior Public Works Customer Service Representative, which is the next level up in the series. And it's a more specialized classification and really more suitable for the work that these employees actually perform. And it's very comparable to a similar series within the Glendale Water and Power Department that has its own call center and various operations there. The plan would be, upon commission approval, to process and reallocate 4 positions within the Public Works Integrated Waste Management Department, and they would be reallocated into these new titles, and ultimately the new organization would be in effect. So that's essentially the proposal here. This does require a commission vote. I do have Dan Hargrove, who is the Assistant Department Head for Public Works, who oversees our field operations, as well as Narek Petrosian from my staff, who worked with them on this process.
Any questions from any of the commissioners?
Yes.
Yeah, Commissioner McCarthy, go ahead, please.
Chair Abkarian. Question firstly is whether the selection process is to be
within the city itself, or it will be released to the public?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner McCarley, it would be a promotional only process, working with just our existing city staff as eligibles for the position.
Promotional, I would assume, meaning that all city employees would have the opportunity to submit applications for these two particular jobs within the series.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner McCarley, that is true. However, because we are sort of specializing this as public works oriented, we are encouraging the experience within a public works environment, and certainly for the lower position, we're requiring call center type experience. So that would limit the eligibility to those that would only have worked in this type of an environment before.
With that, I mean, that segment of the workforce within the city that would have that experience related to delivery of utilities and response to customer requests and information, that would be within the public service department. Where would this pool of candidates find themselves if this is in fact essentially an entry-level position?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner McCarley, I wouldn't say it's necessarily entry level, because we are looking for that experience. Again, the lower position does require a year of customer service experience in a high volume call center environment. It also discusses cashiering, processing revenue files, delinquent account collection, and at least 6 months of formal automated data entry work involving SoftPack billing system and CityWorks or other work management software. This would be largely limited to people within the city integrated waste management right now. And as I said, we have looks like 4 positions that would be reallocated into these new opportunities. And then the next level up, I don't believe we're going to be filling the next level up, the senior, but it is going to be very specifically looking for experience with public works and the minimum requirements. But as far as the first level position, it's got those experience requirements and call center, and it's mostly going to be people who have that experience within public works, integrated waste.
Yeah, I don't want to belabor the conversation and the questioning. However, what drove the decision to make this promotional versus open? It just appears to me that you could find the requisite experience in the commercial arena. For instance, a person who at one point in his or her career worked for Amazon responding to customer complaints, or Southern Cal Edison, or even Los Angeles County Public Waste Management. Based upon the number of individuals who might indeed have the qualifications, it appears that pool would be extremely small within what we call the integrated waste directorate of the Public Works Department. So,
yeah, Mr. Chair, Commissioner McCarley, part of the whole civil service system that we enforce is providing for career growth and opportunities for our existing employees, and that's very much what we want to see occurring with this type of a position, providing those opportunities for people within the existing organization to promote. So while your point is well taken that if we were to open this, we, we would see
Get a larger pool.
people from the outside that may qualify, but we don't want our in-house people to be edged out of potential promotional opportunities. And again, that's one of the hallmarks of civil service, is to provide a career path for employees. And again, right now, this is a group of employees who have, many of them have worked in that operation anywhere from, I would say, 2 to 5 to some even longer, 10 years perhaps. And this would provide an opportunity for growth, having learned this new system and dealing with the upgraded job duties.
All right. Now, this is a basis, Mr. Chair, for a much more expansive conversation about decisions made, whether it's open or promotional. It just appears to me that there was an internal decision by management to limit the number of candidates. And there's certain inconsistencies when, over the course of time, we have approved both specifications and consequential bulletins in which a decision was made to open that aperture to allow additional candidates from the outside to participate, whereas this one, it looks like somebody in the exercise of discretion has decided to narrow that, but that's a discussion for another day.
Well, again, Chair Abkarian, Commissioner McCarley, our civil service system is, as I've said a couple of times, it's designed to provide opportunities for growth. And when we do have sufficient internal candidates, we will make these promotional opportunities. We will make these recruitment processes promotional. And you see the bulletins that are brought to you almost every month where we don't believe we have a sufficient internal candidate pool. And in those cases, we come to you and we request open recruitments. But that's just not the case in this go-around. This we believe we have sufficient in-house candidates, and therefore it's when we do bring this forward as a bulletin to post, it will be promotional.
Commissioner McCarley?
Nothing further. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Based on Commissioner McCarley's discussion, I would say that let's bring up a discussion next meeting where we will discuss how we make a decision on promotional and open. Is that what you're asking for, Mr. McCarley?
Yeah, I would, Chair, whether it's next month or some later period after the first of the year when we have more time. December's an awful, my view is it's an awful time to have a meeting delving into these very significant issues. And as well, we won't have the benefit of Mr. Doyle any longer. And he is a person of extraordinary experience and background and understanding. So this really is something we should address January or February.
Okay, so at a later date, when Mr. McCarley brings this up in the future meetings, then we will pick a meeting the month after, and then we can bring this up again at some point in the future, Commissioner McCarley.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's next?
We need a vote, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I can't.
Can I ask a follow-up question? If I
Yeah,
may?
could you please go ahead?
Chair Abkarian. Yeah. So the discussion of having sufficient candidate pool. Mr. Doyle, do we have approximate number? Do we have an idea of what's the candidate pool? Are we looking at potentially 20 candidates or 40 or 100? Do we have an idea what that pool looks like?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Hartooning, are you referring specifically to this this process moving forward? No, I would
Correct.
say we'd have a candidate pool of approximately 4 individuals within the section who are, as I said earlier, have varying levels of experience. All would meet the minimum qualifications for these proposed positions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Again, I understand what the concern is. The concern is for us not to have a job bulletin that fits specific individuals, because that defeats the purpose, the entire purpose of the Civil Service Commission. But also the Civil Service Commission provides an opportunity, as Mr. Doyle mentioned, for an advancement. So I think this job bulletin is more of a reorganization than it actually is a job bulletin. But it came as a job bulletin just because of the new categories that we need to put in. Did I say that right, Mr. Doyle? Or
Yeah,
am
that's
I
exactly,
mistaken?
that's exactly correct. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. With that, could we have a motion to approve, please?
I'll move to approve.
Sarge Cooney, move to approve. Is there a second, please?
I'm sorry, I'll second that.
Commissioner Sturgeon, second. Could we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Astorian,
Yes.
Commissioner Hartunian,
Yes.
Commissioner McCarley,
Abstain.
Chair Abkarian.
Yes. What's next?
Reports.
Mr. Doyle?
Mr. Chair, all I see is the monthly report on past due performance evaluations. As you can see from the report, we've got 12 departments that have no past due evaluations, and we do have 2 departments that have, I believe, a total of 10 late performance evaluations. So those departments are aware, and as I understand, they're working on getting those taken care of.
But they're all first notices, correct?
Excuse me?
First notice.
These are all first notices, yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Doyle. Any questions on any of the job performance evaluations? Okay, what's next?
Civil Service Commission staff comments.
Any comments by the commissioners? I do have a comment. I was going to look in maybe canceling the commission meeting in December. However, I remembered that that would be Mr. Doyle's last commission meeting, and I would hate not to have that last shot at making a comment about him and talking. So as I sit here today, unless there's a major objection, we will not cancel December commission meeting to ensure that we each have something to say about Mr. Doyle. So without objection on that, we will keep the December meeting as is.
Chair Karian, does Mr. Doyle's opinion in this matter count?
It's his last day, so I would say no. Mr. Doyle, what do you think?
I appreciate Commissioner Astorian's comment, but I'm here at your service, and I will be here in December for you. And I am also fairly certain we will have some business that would need to be taken care of. December always seems to be a busy month, so I think it's appropriate to have a meeting.
Yeah, and Mr. Doyle, I truly believe that each commissioner would like to make some comments. So I would like to allow everyone to be able to make the comments. And accordingly, I personally would like to make personal comment and be there, see you and make the comments. So I was going to cancel it, but then I thought about it, and we will have the meeting in December.
Thank you.
Okay, what's next?
Adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you. See you guys in December.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.